everybody, it's Maria, and I wanted to share with you a flower that I made. It is not new. I was looking for a tutorial on it on YouTube and I couldn't find one, so I figured I'm gonna make it. I saw it on Instagram and I loved it, so I thought, okay, how can I put that together? And so I put it together, and this is how I did it. And of course you can do it any way you want, but I liked it and I think it looks good on projects and cards, and you can make it a little more 3D, a little flatter, however you want to make it. So these are the flowers I made, and different centers and stuff like that. And there we go, that's the flower. Okay? Alright, we'll talk more about these later and the centers I did and stuff like that. So what you're going to need is 2 different size circles. I am using a 2-inch, and I want to say 1.5 inch for this. This one's Recollections, and I think this one's Marvushita, okay? So that's what I'm using. You're going to need some scissors of some kind. Of course, you're going to need paper, and I'm going to be using hot glue for this particular project. Sorry about all my glue strings. You can use a wet glue. You can use any kind of scissors you want. You can hand cut your circles. You can use a circle scallop. Whatever you think will look good, and put your own spin on it. So you're going to need to cut 5 circles. You're going to cut 3 of the large ones, so I'm going to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to cut in the same color, but you know, obviously you can vary it how you want. 2 of the smaller one, okay, and that is all you need to make this part of the flower. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to go into each circle approximately halfway with your cutting. Okay, that's all you need to do, halfway. Super simple, super quick, super easy. Just going about halfway. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then this is where your glue comes in. I am just going to overlap this just a little bit. This is what is up to your liking, how you're going to overlap it. Obviously, if you do it more, you're going to get more like a cone. If you do it less, it's going to be flatter. It's all going to depend on how much 3D-ness you want, if that's a word. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue. Be careful when you're using your hot glue. I have almost no fingertips left, I think. I have a huge burn on my pinky finger from using my hot glue the other day. Okay, and I'm just going to peel off excess glue. In the very middle, we're going to cover it with something, so not as much is going to show. But of course, you don't want to have tons of extra. Then I'm going to do the next one, and you're going to repeat this for all of your flowers. Okay, that's number 2. Okay, the bigger ones now. Those 2 are going to consist of your middle. Okay, and you don't need a ton of glue. And like I said, you could use a wet glue for this. It would just take a little longer for it to take. I'm impatient. I like my glue to take right away. That was a glue strand pulling there. See, he's it's like magic. Okay. Doing this one. Number whatever this one is, right? 2nd of the bigs. 3rd of the big ones. Okay. Okay. Now what I want to do is take my 2 little ones, and again, this is going to depend on your preference. I like to put the seams together, so I'm going to take, boy, this glue is stringy. I'm going to take the 2 little seams and put them near each other to make kind of a cup like that, okay? And put glue in the middle top of one, take the seam of the other and put them together and kind of cup one into the other so it looks like that. And I'm going to give it time to dry. Then I'm going to start on my other ones. So I want to make these 3 cup into each other. So I'm going to start on the side of one, and I'm going to just put the seam into the middle and cup it together. Okay, kind of to the side there. See, it's so hard, it's changing the paper color. And I'm just going to let it dry for a second. And this is a bigger one than I did on any of my other samples I have there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my 3rd one and do the same. I'm going to go to the middle of the other 2 and take my seam and put it to the middle there and hold it. okay, while it dries. And this is what your bottom looks like. It looks pretty clean still, in my opinion, and I want to let that dry for a minute. I want to let it get hard, I should say, before I add more hot glue to it. And then once you add more hot glue, each time you add more hot glue, it makes the layers heat up again from underneath it and move around. So you don't want to do that while it's still hot underneath. Okay, this one's good. So then what you want to do with this one, I just like to put a nice dollop of hot glue underneath. And I really do like hot glue for that particular part because you've got a really 3D piece here, and I'm going to offset and stick it in the middle. And I'm going to hold that down for a second. And I'm going to let that harden. All right. So then what you got is this really nice flower right here. Now it's the center. The center is totally up to you. To make a fringe center is super easy. I am actually going to use my trimmer, and I'm going to cut a piece because I want the bottom edge to be flush. So let's see. I'm going to do that piece is not flat. Let's get rid of that piece. And let's do about that big. So I'm going to use white for the middle. Now you can just use your regular scissors. I happen to have the Martha Stewart fringe scissors, and I do like the way these cut, so I'm going to use these. So these you just cut through like this, okay, all the way down as far as you want to go. Okay. And I don't need to do this whole strip. That would be too much, I think. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go. And I am going to take my bone folder. Again, you don't have to have these extra tools to do these things. You could use the end of a paintbrush, pencil, whatever. I just like to give it this extra burnishing so that it will curl a little easier. All right, and you can just curl it with your fingers. Some people like to hot glue as they go along. I don't find it necessary. Each person's different. Okay, and I'm just going to curl that up, make it fairly tight. Keep going until you're all the way at the end. And again, this can be as full or as thin as you'd like it. And then I'm going to add a dollop of glue there at the end to hold it together and let that set. Okay. Then again, I'm going to add a dollop of glue to the middle of my flower here. I'm using my iPad to videotape, so I can't really zoom in and out because I don't have a videographer. I'm my videographer, so I can't do a tutorial and do that. So I'm going to let that set up. And there's a little extra hot glue. If you want, you can pinch it around with your fingers, you know, to get it out. When it's fully set, you can do this. Push those out, and then you've got a nice flower there. Okay, so some of the other finishes I did for the centers, I'm going to pull the pinks out. So these are the pinks. I did simple glitters in the middle for some of them. You just put a dollop of, I didn't use hot glue for this portion. You could put a dollop of glossy accents and then a glitter mix, which is what I did for these. On these two I did the fringe. On these three, I did the glossy accents with seed beads, and then this one I put a giant bead in there as well. And then on these two, I also added a glimmer mist. Okay, and then let's see here, what else have I got? I've got some craft, and then you know, I did the fringe plus some seed beads on the bottom. I like how that came out, and then you know, seed beads plus, what are those called? Micro beads plus fringe. And then I did the gray, and these are just repeating the same things. This one has the glimmer mist on it also. This one is a two-tone in pink gray. I kind of like how that came out. Not my fave, but you know, I'll still use it on something. And then a couple more pinks I missed. And then I got a few tones of blues. This is like an aqua. And then I have a light, sorry I'm reaching here, a light blue with the fringe. And then a few more tone blues. Okay, just seed beads, micro beads. And I think these look great on cards. Very inexpensive to make. I just used everything in my stash. As I said, I saw it on Pinterest. I really loved it, and I just wanted to, I said, you know what, I'm going to pull out what I have and see what I can make. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked. I hope you will be inspired to make something yourself. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.